Hey everyone, there is no February 29th this year, but if that is your birthday, you share it with one of the most notorious serial killers in history, Richard Ramirez, who was known as the Night Stalker, and that is him right up there. Ramirez terrorized residents of Southern California in 1984 and 85, entering homes at night to sexually assault and murder residents using a variety of weapons, including handguns, knives, a machete, a tire iron, and even a hammer. After his birth in 1960, Ramirez spent his childhood in El Paso, Texas. He was heavily influenced by his cousin, a Green Beret veteran, who would show him photos of his gruesome exploits in the war, which included photos of women who were raped and killed, and even a photo with the severed head of a Vietnamese woman. A 13-year-old Ramirez was there when his cousin shot and killed his wife during a domestic dispute, and later that year he moved in with his sister, who was married to a man who would take Richard with him while engaging in activities best described as those of a peeping Tom. Ramirez began using drugs at the age of 10, moved on to LSD at 14, and at this age his sexual fantasies began to merge with his violent urges. As a teen, Ramirez worked at a hotel where he used his passkey to rob patrons while they slept, and he was fired when a guest returned to his room to find Ramirez attempting to rape his wife. At the age of 22, he moved to California, where he became the monster known as the Night Stalker. His first murder victim was a 9-year-old girl in San Francisco who he molested before stabbing her to death in 1984. Shortly thereafter, he moved to Los Angeles, where he slit the throat of an elderly woman before committing necrophilia with her corpse. Committing crimes noteworthy for their extreme brutality, he once gouged out the eyes of a victim and left them in her jewelry box. He had at least 11 more successful attempts at murder and a few unsuccessful ones, as well as abducting and molesting multiple children. One key for the LA Sheriff's Department in realizing they were dealing with a serial killer is that he wore a pair of Avia shoes that had an unusual tread pattern they found at multiple crime scenes. As detectives were able to figure out who was responsible, a photo of Ramirez appeared in Spanish-language newspaper La Opinión, and while he fled from the police, he was spotted by a crowd in East Los Angeles that surrounded and beat him into submission. Claiming that being a Satanist led him to commit the crimes, he expressed no remorse at any time for the 13 or more murders he committed. Sentenced to be executed for his crimes, Ramirez died of lymphoma while on death row at San Quentin. One attempted break-in occurred in my hometown of Pico Rivera, which led to me being terrified as a 10-year-old when my parents would go out for the night, leaving my older sister and myself home alone. He also killed in the neighboring city of Whittier, where I lived after college, and kidnapped and molested a child from Montebello, where I live now. I make bad decisions when choosing where to live. If the 29th is your birthday, I hope you have a great day on the 28th or the 1st, whenever you celebrate. And if you know someone whose birthday is the 29th, send them this video so they can find out all about their birthday twin. And to Richard Ramirez, I say, happy birthday, you bastard.